Okay, guys, Jedi Chronic here with the Get Good Guide. In this episode, we backed up to the very beginning of the game. We're going to look at some of the tutorials that the game gives us about combat, because that's what we're going to be focusing on, just the basics of combat. A lot of people just glossed over the tutorials, and honestly, they weren't really all that in depth to begin with. So we're going to take another look at those in the first couple of fights here, and I'm going to expand on explaining the mechanics to you so you really understand what's going on. I'm going to walk out the door, and it's going to launch. Oh, sorry, I got to talk to Kuro again here. I'll drive through this dialogue. There we go. Now we go. Now we go. So posture and death blows, that's what we're going to look at. A shinobi aims to break an opponent's posture. Attacking an enemy is one way to achieve this. When an enemy's posture breaks, he's vulnerable to a shinobi death blow. You right bumper to attack and then right bumper again when you get the red dot to issue to do the death blow. You can get an automatic death blow on just about all of the mobs, the opponents in the game. If you can sneak up behind them and get to their back, they're going to give you a free death blow. Death blows are really important. Posture is really important too. We're going to talk about posture here in just a second. So we're going to get a couple of death blows on these first two guys. And then get to the next part of our tutorial. I'm just going to walk up behind him and stab him. He didn't even see me. That guy's going to see me. So that's a little counterattack there. We'll talk about that here in just a second. So I'm going to get down here, and it's going to give me the tutorial for the very next subject. So, deflection. Man, I cannot stress how crazy important it is to understand deflection and to use it to really get good at deflection. There's going to be a guy later in the game, Harabe, the Undying, that you're going to be able to practice this with, and you guys should definitely practice it. So sometimes relentless attack is not enough to break an enemy's posture. Deflecting enemy attacks is another way to damage their posture. A master shinobi uses a combination of deflect and attacks to achieve swift victory. So you're going to want to left bumper the moment an attack lands to deflect. So you can hold down left bumper. If you hold down left bumper, that puts you into a blocking stance, and you'll block stuff. But blocking is different than deflect. Deflect is using the left bumper at the very last second, at the very moment that sword or that fist or whatever is coming at you would have hit you. You can tap left bumper at that moment of potential contact, and then that will deflect the blow. It will do a little posture damage to you, but it will do a ton of posture damage to the opponent by comparison, especially if their health is low. So you hold down left bumper to block, but you tap left bumper at the moment of impact to get a deflection. So if you time that, if your timing's a little bit off, you'll still get the block, unless you just miss it entirely. You'll still get the block, but you'll just take more damage. You'll know when you got the perfect deflection when there's a sound that'll come up, and you'll have way more sparks than usual, and it will do a ton of damage to the opponent. So we talked about posture also in the last tutorial. Let's talk about it a little bit here too. So you basically got two health bars. You have two health bars, and all the enemies have two health bars. So one of them is hit points, that's the red bar. The other bar is posture. Posture is basically how good of a swordsman you're being at the moment and how effectively you can move and strike. So if your posture is high, you're great. you can do all the things. But if your posture is getting low, you're in danger of falling down and succumbing to. They can head stomp you if your posture breaks. Your foobar. You got to roll back and then rinse and repeat if they don't kill you. Um, but if you break the opponent's posture, it gives you a death blow opportunity, so you can kill them. And you'll see on these weak enemies, I'm going to use this deflection, and it will instantly break their posture. You'll see above their head here in just a second, that posture bar will appear, and it'll go critical as soon as I hit that deflection. Oh. I forgot to mention this about deflect. You can deflect just about everything. You can deflect swords, you can deflect fists, you can deflect wolves, you can deflect a horse stomping down on you, you can deflect a giant ape, you can deflect just about anything. The only thing you can't really deflect easily is a perilous attack. Some of those you either have to evade or jump or do a Makiri counter, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But keep in mind, you can deflect just about anything. Guys, I'm not kidding. You can deflect a horse. In the horse boss fight, that horse will jump up in the air and then come back down on you with all four hooves, and you just deflect his butt. Uh, it's crazy. So deflect is super duper powerful because you can deflect just about anything. So let's play around with this guy a little bit and see what that looks like. So you see his red bar is up there. You see his red bar is up there. That's his hit points. So let's get his posture bar. We're going to wait for him to attack and see that orange bar. If I do the perfect parry, I'll do it again. His posture bar will fill up because he's not a great swordsman. He's not a great opponent. As soon as you get that deflect, it just does so much damage. It immediately will give you an opportunity to deathblow this guy. But I'm watching what he's doing. And I'm blocking. I'm tapping, just tapping, deflect. The moment his sword would have hit me, you can just spam parry. You can just spam block, and it will work. But you're going to get more posture damage doing that, and it's not going to be as effective. So you really want to work on the timing of blocking that strike just in time. So we're going to kill that guy, and then now the next thing we're going to talk about is lock on. This is super important. So to lock on, this was in other Souls games. It's in other Souls games, and it's some other From Software games like Elden Ring. So by locking on to your target and keeping your enemy in front of you, you'll find it much easier to attack and deflect. And perform other combat actions. So you press in on the right stick to lock on or to release, and then you can move the right stick left or right to change your lock, to change who you're locked onto. The thing they don't tell you here is if you're locked onto somebody, it's going to keep you facing, but it will automatically direct all of your attacks and all of your blocks and deflections to that person. Locking on is a great mechanic. Just about everybody you're going to fight, you're going to want to lock on to. It's not absolutely required. You can definitely fight people without locking on, but then you have to be much more mindful of the direction you're swinging, because it's not gonna automatically hit that person. So we got two opponents in front of us. I'm gonna lock onto one. We're gonna divide and conquer and kill both of them. So that guy sees us first. I'm gonna lock onto him. See, I missed that parry. I didn't get the perfect parry, so it didn't give me the death blow. So we're going to lock onto him again and just wait, and we're going to kill him with that counterattack. that guy too. So there's two more guys up here. There's two more guys up here. We can get. I'm actually going to show you guys how to get a death blow from above. So we're going to get up here. I'm going to crouch, so I'm in stealth. And there's two guys there. I can rotate the camera. You can see that other guy. So I'm going to lock onto that guy. Oh, he sees me, so I'm going to back up a little bit. That flag tells me that he sees me. Now that I'm locked onto this guy, I'm going to jump, and he does not know I'm there. He's not alerted, or he's not flagged red, so I'm going to be able to get a free attack on him. And then the only way, or the only person I have to deal with is that other guy. You always want to knock out one of your opponents with a death blow, just to take out if you've got a group of them, just to take out as many as you can, so you don't have to contend with multiple opponents at the same time. So you see, as soon as I jumped, I got that. Gonna wait for that guy to attack, and then we got a perfect parry and just killed him with a counterattack. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. If you miss that perfect parry, you might have to parry a couple of times. You might have to parry a couple of times. But eventually you will you'll beat him down in posture, and you'll be able to kill him. By the way, I use the term parry and deflect interchangeably. The game calls it deflect, but in my personal training, I've always called it a parry. So there's one other thing that they don't talk about in the tutorial that I want to go over. So you can actually two, now that I think about it. So if your posture is really, really, really high, if your posture is high, your posture damage is high, like your bar is high, and you need to fade some of that heat, you need to cool down. The best way to dump your extra posture damage is to get some space from you and whoever you're fighting and hold block. You're not actually blocking any incoming attacks because you're not near anybody. But give yourself some space against the boss or whoever you're fighting and just hold block, and that will repair your posture really, really fast. A lot of times, if you're going back and forth in a high stress fight, just taking a second to back up and hold block, just like that, will do the trick to get your posture recovered. So I want to talk about the deflect dance or the parry dance. That's when you're not sure what the cadence is, you're not sure what the pattern is of the incoming attacks, but you still you don't want to just block, because if you block and you get hit, all of that damage that would have gone to your hit points will go to your posture. You don't want that. What you do want to do is spam parry. You want to spam block. Tap it over and over again, just as fast as you can, and that's not going to get you a perfect parry, but it is way better than just holding block. This will save you being able to do the deflect dance for sure. So if you're uncertain of the pattern and you know there's an incoming attack, just spam deflect a couple of times, and you'll be way better off than just holding block. So this guy's going to teach us about counterattacks. He's our first little mini boss. So you saw me do a couple of counterattacks back there to kill those guys, but this is the official tutorial. So the counter slash. A counter slash can be performed immediately after deflecting an attack. So this allows you to deal posture damage without giving the enemy time to recover. So you're not going to give him any time to recover whatsoever. As soon as you deflect their attack, you're going to immediately hit R1 and pop them. That's a great trick. It works a lot. So left bumper the moment an attack lands to get your deflect, and then right bumper immediately afterwards to get a counter slash. So the other thing I would tell you that they don't mention here in the game is that the enemies can counter slash 2. So if they parry you, and you'll be able to see them parry you. If they parry you, you immediately, as soon as you see that that parry go off and you hear the clang, it gives a distinct clang when they parry you. You immediately want to tap left bumper to parry a potential incoming attack, and you'll learn who does a counterattack and who doesn't. But the game doesn't tell you. They can block you, they can parry you, and they will counterattack you as well. So I'm just going to stand here. I'm just going to stand here and let this guy beat me and show you guys firsthand the power of attack, or the power of parrying. And I'll use the spam attack. I know how to block this guy. But I want you guys to see that this works. You see all that damage, all that posture damage I took? Now I'm overheated. I got to back up, and I'm going to dump. I'm going to hold block and dump all of that posture damage. So now let's do some actual counterattacks. So I'm going to get him off the stairs, and when I parry, I'm going to counterattack. That's our counterattack. See how high his posture went? I also want to talk about this real quick. The game does not do a good job of explaining this. So your posture recovers at different rates. If your health bar is really high, if you have a lot of health, or the enemy has a lot of health, their posture will recover very quickly. If they don't have much health, their posture will return very slowly. It's much harder to recover from posture damage if it's low. So one of the tactics for powerful enemies to deal with them, especially bosses, is you just focus on hitting them. If you hit them, you're doing posture damage too, but you're also doing hit point damage. So you want to chip away at their hit points so that their posture is not as effective at recovering, and then you can get a death blow. Half the time you're in a boss fight, you're just chipping away at their hit points so that you can actually get that death blow. Now, if you chip away enough and you never get the death blow through posture, you chip away enough and they lose their hit points, they're going to die too. But if you're trying to take advantage of overwhelming their posture, you got to make sure they have low hit points if they have if they're a strong enemy. So here we go. We're going to counterattack again. Oh nope, I missed that. So roll back. Counterattack. See how he's almost dead? Oh, he's not almost dead. His posture's almost down. So, I got our first death blow. Now, some enemies, strong enemies like this mini-boss, require more than one death blow. Some of them require 3. Good news is, on a lot of them, you can get the first one for free, so you end up with a stealth attack, so you end up only having to actually fight them through 1. But if they have 3, and you don't get a death blow, you got to literally beat them down through 3 death blows. So, death blow against strong enemies. Some powerful opponents require multiple death blows to be killed. The number of death blows required to kill an enemy is shown by the red circular markers above their vitality bar. Each death blow removes 1 marker. So you see up there in the upper left where it says the leader. Man, I can't even begin to pronounce that. It's got his health bar, and he's got 2 dots. We just took one of them away, so he's got 1 more. So let's counterattack this guy and get to the next section here. Come on. I'm going to hold dump my... There we go. And he's down. Ooh, he gave us a pellet. So that's really all you need to know about posture and deflect and um, posture versus hit points. Remember, somebody's posture is always stronger if they've got high hit points, so you might have to whittle them down in hit points. Just bang away on them, chip away at them until their hit points are down, and then you can definitely overpower them with a posture bar. Remember, you can deflect almost everything. So work on that mechanic. You have to watch what's going on with your opponent's sword to be able to do the deflect. And man, that's really all there is to it. You will see that this game and the sword fighting in this game is really a dance. When you get to some of the bosses, you'll go 3, 4 attacks. They will parry you and try to counterattack you. You counterattack, or you parry their counterattack, and then you go back at them and hit them again. So you're just going back and forth, back and forth. That's the name of the game. I feel like this game doesn't do a great job of explaining that, so I wanted to take a minute and give you guys some further explanations. So if you guys got something out of this video, if you learned anything about this video or anything about the game in this video, please like and subscribe. Love you guys. Love doing these videos, and I'm going to be back for more later. So that's how you get good, and hopefully you guys learned something. Y'all have a great day.